All right, 1 second here. I am getting... Oh no! Oh no! Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over. But welcome gamers, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I booted this up to see that it says Let's Go's not in here. Which is unfortunate, because it is. So, we lost our combo. That stinks. We're gonna have to rebuild that. But how's it going, gamers? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well today. Rip catch combo, yeah. I don't know how that happened. I haven't touched the Switch. I haven't touched the Switch, so it shouldn't have had any issues, but rip. Catch combo in the Fallen for a second time. Dude, how does this happen? I'm gonna just, like, check the contacts on my Switch, I guess. I don't know, man. This is weird. I've never had that. Or I guess I can't say I've never had it happen. I think it did happen one other time. Also, apologies that... Those menu sounds were loud. Space Lord, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Welcome to the distress of me losing all of my combo that I had built up. How many lures do I have now, though? Because I don't think I've saved in a while. We got all of our lures back, so let's see. Let's make sure here. Oh yeah, we got all of our lures back, basically from the point we found Shiny Chansey. Gonna get on your PC, alright gamers. You're good, that's good to hear, Space Lord. It's good to hear. Hope your Friday's been going well. Excited for the weekend? Because I am. I know I am. Weekends are usually a good time, obviously. But yeah, no. I always look forward to the weekends. I go karting on the weekends, and I haven't been since last weekend, so I'm excited for that. Yes, dude. I'm ready for the weekend. I got my usual things, which are fun things, and I am also finally going and looking at new apartments and stuff, which is more of an adult exciting thing, right? But but at the same time, like, being able to know where I'm gonna be in like a few weeks is good, as opposed to it being like this unknown like situation at the moment. Because right now the only thing is for certain is that I can't be here in a month. So, but yeah, good to see you, good to have you here. Let's hope that we can get some more Krabbies showing up. Our combo's gone, so is our lure still active? I guess I can just see if I have a lure active. Yeah, use this item. Okay, I still have a lure in effect. Cool. I was curious about that. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks that our combo went away. Granted, I think our save is effectively back to the point where we last, like, lost the combo anyways. Yeah, so. Not too big of a deal. Not too big of a deal. It's not like we lost a bunch of stuff. If anything, we got a bunch of lures back. Like, we were down to, like, 2 lures left or something, and I didn't really have the cash to go get more. But yeah. Yeah, so really the only thing we lost is the combo. Chansey's back. Chansey is the reason we've saved since I got the green circles for Krabby. So I will actually say that Chansey was a good thing this time, as much as, like, usually Shiny Chansey isn't great. It is the reason I had a save. So I can't be too upset with it right now. It saved my butt. Unless you need XP. True. Yeah. Yeah, Chansey's good for XP. But yeah, for us what happened basically is, you know, we found a Shiny Chansey with our Krabby combo. I feel compelled to catch every Shiny I see, or at least attempt it, so if a Shiny pops up and it's not what we're comboing, guarantee I lose my combo. Because either we fail it and it runs away and we lose the combo, or I catch it and that ends our combo, because this is a different Pokemon, so... So either way, we lose our combo when a Shiny Chansey pops up, and they pop up pretty often on routes where, like, they can. Just given their, like, nature of being everywhere, and they're always, once you have your combo high enough, they're always being a spawn of one. Like, honestly, by the time you have a maxed out combo, the special spawns are almost more common than, like, anything above, like, than anything under, like, 30% spawn rate. But yeah. Today will be a longer stream in general, so us losing the combo is not the worst thing in the world, because we'll just build it again. You never encountered a shiny? Well, hey. There's always the future. You can always find one. Shiny hunting is so much fun. I remember when I hadn't like found any, I was like, oh, that'd be cool to do, but didn't realize how much I'd love it. And 4 years later, I've just been doing it pretty much nonstop. You made 2 teams on Showdown that both have the same premise of getting a Pokemon with the ability Simple, through Simple Bean or Skill Swap, and using Geomancy to get ×3 speed, special attack, special defense. Nice. And yo, Vanillix, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? How's your Friday going? Good, that's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. I've been watching people criticize Legends. I mean, I think, like I said on Wednesday, there's definitely plenty of things to continue to criticize it for. Neither of the games that were announced are perfect by any means, but I definitely think both are generally a step. Generally, both of them look promising, especially in comparison to their February announcement videos. It takes a lot of setup, and you've not had a successful battle. Had one where you won using the Mon, you had to counter the Mons you couldn't hit. Yeah, I can imagine there's like just a lot of setup moves, and at that point you gotta hope that your opponent doesn't catch on to that. Say Legends looks good, but it needs a little more improvement. I mean, if it shipped in the state that it's in now, I wouldn't be upset. That's where I'm at. Would it be perfect? No. Would I be like, this could be better? Yes. But looking at it, from what we saw in the trailer, which is admittedly a very polished look at the game, it looks decent. It looks decent. And for Pokemon trying open world, I'm not upset with that. I think a lot of my thoughts on Legends are getting, like... My thoughts on Legends are way less, like, concerned than they would be if BDSP also didn't exist. Man, I really just can't throw right... I can't throw right now! What's going on? And as soon as I can throw, it moves. There we go. Yeah, so... My concerns that I think I would usually have with Legends are largely kind of suppressed because of BDSP coming out. Because if Legends comes out and it is a technical mess or it's boring, you know, the story's just not, you know, not all that entertaining, it doesn't have any staying value or any staying power, BDSP is guaranteed to be a game that people care about. Right, and like people continue to play. There is going to be that audience. Just no matter what. Also, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to move to the Be Right Back screen for a bit. I'm getting a phone call I think I need to take. So it was not a call I was expecting. It was Susie with the Vehicle Service and Warranty Department. I was expecting a call about potential, like, apartment things. And so I was like, oh shoot, I need to, like, answer this? No. Was not. Sorry about that. We're back. We are back. But yeah. Say Legends looks good and needs some improvement. I agree with Game Freak touches it up more. It could look so good. Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying like it's good. Leave it, guys. If they fix it up and they make it better, great. But you know, again, like I was kind of saying, if they don't do anything or if they do stuff and the game still just ends up being like a bland story with no post game, and like no real like replay value or something like that, if that ends up being the case with Legends, I won't be too concerned because it just means that everyone will go back to BDSP, both creators and audiences. And for me, that's okay. So like that works out fine in my mind. Because BDSP is just Sinnoh again, with added features. I don't think anything they've added is going to detract from how much people want to see Sinnoh again. And especially when it comes to shiny hunting side of it and stuff like that. Like when it comes back around to the side of the game that obviously I think our community is mostly focused on in terms of the shiny hunting, it's going to have a good sized dex. People are going to enjoy the games. The gameplay is going to be the gameplay people are used to and want to see and have missed. So like I think BDSP no matter what will be a safety net for like Pokemon interest in the YouTube and just streaming space in general. You know, because BDSP is going to get this massive spike when it comes out. Legends is going to get a massive spike when it comes out. But will it hold on, or will it plummet and fall off, kind of like a lot of games did, especially like USUM, where those kind of came out and went cool, and it just continued to fall off. It's like having other new Pokemon games that are a way safer bet to fall back on makes me more okay with Legends being super experimental. If Legends doesn't have a post-game, that's just bad. I mean, the thing is, I don't know what kind of post-game it's going to have. I think it's just going to be... I imagine... as much as I'm kind of like, they're trying too hard to make the conclusions draw the conclusions between these two. I would imagine it's going to be like Breath of the Wild, where there's not like a true there's not a true post game. There's just more you can do after finishing the story. There's a lot more completion to it. I think it is way more likely that Legends will be a game where you have your main save file where you 100% it, and then if you want to play more of it, you start a new game and you get a lot of replay value out of doing like challenge runs. That's my assumption. That is what I assume is going to be the case with Legends. I don't think, outside of maybe shiny hunting, which who knows how it would work in these games. You know, we haven't seen anything as to whether or not it will. Outside of something like potential shiny hunting, I don't see a lot of just post-game to Legends, because I mean, let's be real, outside of a small set of games that people continuously want to have brought back with the Battle Frontier and shiny hunting, you basically have the competitive players and you have the shiny hunters, and those are the two that stay around in one save. Everyone else does Nuzlocke runs or randomizers and stuff like that. So Pokemon's postgame has always been at least a little bit lacking. I think we're fooling ourselves. We say that Pokemon's always had like a super fleshed out postgame, but just from my perspective of, there's going to be a week or two where Legends is just top in terms of everyone playing it and everyone watching it. Will it stay there? Will it stay there or will it fall off? If it falls off, you know, usually when a Pokemon game falls off like that, all of Pokemon kind of falls off together. I think if Legends falls off, BDSP will stay constant, is my assumption. It's an open world game and it needs post game and side things. It'll have side stuff. I imagine it will have side stuff. I think it's going to be like Breath of the Wild, where the post game is stuff you could have done before the post game. Basically, post game is 100%ing the save file. I wouldn't be surprised if it even acts the same as like Breath of the Wild did, where it's so much not a post game that you can't save. Like, you can't save having beaten Ganon in Breath of the Wild. You just immediately like plop back into the world right before you beat him. The original Sinnoh Dex had like 400 Pokemon. That's not bad. Granted, like, it's clear that the Hisuian Dex is going to be bigger, and I'm interested to see what all the Pokemon, like, because it definitely seems like with hideaways and everything, there are more Pokemon to catch in BDSP than the original Sinnoh games. So, we'll see. John, what's going on? What's going on? Just tested negative for COVID. Hey, that's good news. That's good news. I feel like Legends is the post game. Legends is confirmed online trading. They say if you want to continue competitive, they recommend you keep playing Sword and Shield. Oh yeah, 100%. Neither of these games are mainline games. Legends is straight up a game with a subtitle. Like, Legends is straight up a game in the vein of Pokemon Ranger. It's Pokemon Legends. It's not Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's Pokemon Legends Arceus. Right? Like, it's like Pokemon Ranger and Pokemon Ranger Shadows of Almia and stuff like that. Legends is that series name, so Legends is going to be its own thing, and because of that, I don't expect there to necessarily be some like super fleshed out traditional post game that everyone's used to in Pokemon games. BDSP is way more likely to have that just being a traditional game. However, because it is a remake in this very interesting retro style, yeah, Sword and Shield's still going to be the main competitive game. It's Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor were our Dex and competitive roster updates for Gen 8 competitive. Yeah, that's the case there. I'm not looking at it from the competitive side, obviously. That's not my thing. It's never been my thing on this channel. I think I've done a total of 1 stream where I did anything competitive related, and it was the Battle Tower. So, yeah, in my mind, post-game for me is shiny hunting, and whether or not Legends holds that, right? And it also having Legends and BDSP going together gives you a lot more variety in terms of relevant Pokemon games to potentially like stream. So I think I'm just excited for that largely. Yo, Goldie, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. If they do more Legends games, I hope they do. I genuinely hope they do, assuming that this one ends up being as good as everyone's kind of expecting it to be. If Legends ends up being very successful and very fun, or at least a very solid core foundation for open world Pokemon, I think I mentioned this back when Legends was initially announced. I love the fact that Legends is its own sub-series and that it is the open-world Pokemon game people have been asking for. Because it lets someone like me, who really does enjoy... I'm terrible at throwing today. I don't know what's going on, guys. It lets someone like me, who doesn't really like open-world games too terribly much, I will play it because it's Pokemon, I'm the same way with just RPGs in general. I'm generally not an RPG fan, except for Pokemon. Because Pokemon's so different. If open world Pokemon has also got a good Pokemon twist to it, I'll play it a bunch. But as someone who doesn't want to lose the traditional Pokemon RPG as we know it, I love the idea of Legends being a continued sub-series. I love that idea. Because it lets them continue to make open world stuff. It lets people who want open world games have them, while also keeping the fan base that wants traditional Pokemon games satisfied as well. Imagine old Johto, that'd be so cool. Obviously I'm biased, but man, old Hoenn would be great. Totally got a battle to work with the simple Geomancy sweep. Nice! Can bet you everything Game Freak is bored of the normal formula, which is why they're doing Legends. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason they made Town, or Little Town Hero. There's a reason they did that. There's a reason that Ilka's doing BDSP. I feel like they have talked about wanting to change the formula. That's why they changed it with, even as little as they did, they changed the formula with the trials in Sun and Moon. They wanted to mix it up. There's a reason they added the wild area. There's a reason they went with DLC instead of building a full third game. They've been doing the same thing for 25 years. So they absolutely, I can see why they want to change it up. I can see the perspective of wanting to change it up, and I'm totally cool with that. I just want there to still be those core games, right? I still want the core games to exist. At the end of the day, I always want to be able to come back to core Pokemon. And it not be necessarily a retro throwback every time of going back and playing games 3 console generations old. I want the like traditional Pokemon formula to stay modern, and obviously modernizing it is part of that, but I want like the traditional formula to live on with other modernized spin-offs around it. They finally realized they're bored? I mean, like I said, they've been saying it, and they've been showing it with their games since at least Gen 7. Smeargle is way weaker than you thought, no wonder it's a Baton Pass user. It's just bad stats. Really need to improve more animations? Oh, absolutely. Do something like Battle Revolution or Coliseum or Stadium? Yeah, definitely. I think the argument there is look at the deck size then versus now. Even when they cut the Pokemon in Sword and Shield, the dex was still larger than it would have been when Coliseum came out. Battle Revolution, a little bit of a different story. It's about the same size as then, but yeah. Yeah, Pokemon's been... Game Freak has been very unimaginative with animations. Almost every time, almost every single one of those games, right? You can point to another developer. Where it's like, someone else did this. Like pretty much anytime there's good Pokemon animations, it's not Game Freak. So, it'd be cool if they, like, you know, source that out to someone who could do them better. Notice me? I said hi, Goldie. How you doing, Goldie? 20 base attack stats? Oof. Yeah, so yeah, I genuinely hope Legends is a fantastic game. I think it will be, but like I said, I'm not as concerned about it being fantastic as I would have been if BDSP didn't exist. If we were just getting Legends this fall or in early 2022, and that was the only game we were going to get for a while, I'd be a lot more nervous right now. Because right now I'm like, okay, we're getting the safe, traditional game, literally the safest remake they could possibly make. You know, everyone wants it, but at the same time, like, it's not, at the same time, it is new and stuff like that. Like, everything about BDSP seems stable and, like, reliable as a form of my own entertainment, as well as a form of entertainment for a stream audience. Like, everything about that game seems rock solid to, like, build a foundation on for a bit, and, like, let Legends be an experiment, and let's try with it, see what we can do here on the platform. Let's, you know, but at the same time, if that fails, BDSP is still a thing that I imagine, you know, will be doing very well for a while. You're doing fine, just super laggy. Oh no! Hopefully the lag stops for you. So you need to be able to do baton pass. Fair. Laugh at the people that made XD made Cafe Mix. Okay, I think I mentioned it on Wednesday, but I don't think anyone was really in here. Did anyone else notice or like get the feeling that their whole Cafe like remix, the Pokemon Cafe remix announcement was very much a no one plays this. Could you guys go play this for us? Like we're fixing it. Please come play this. Like, that's the feel I got from that. That's very much the feel I got from that announcement. It was, no one's playing this, please play. Because it's just Pokemon Tsum Tsum, basically. And that got announced when Unite got announced and when Snap got announced. And both of those have come out to probably way more success than their, like, way more users than the free Cafe Mix game. It's just boring. I mean, yeah, it's Tsum Tsum. It has a really neat art style. I like the art style, but I don't like Tsum Tsum. I don't play Tsum Tsum. If I wanted to play Tsum Tsum, I would just play Disney Tsum Tsum. I wouldn't play Pokemon version of it. Or if I did, I would already be someone play like for Cafe Mix, really the only thing that they could expect outside of like a day one spike in playtime of people being like, what's this Pokemon game? Is look at the Tsum Tsum daily active players on the official Tsum Tsum app. Maximum that many people. And definitely not that many people. Even at 3 times special attack, you only got 315. You like the art style? Yeah, the art style is really cool, but yeah, it's just... the gameplay is Tsum Tsum, and if you don't like Tsum Tsum, you're not gonna like Cafe. So yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that it's not, like, a critical success, right? Like, it's a free-to-play game, it's gonna turn a profit, but it's not gonna, like, crush numbers for anything. Stored power get you 260, base power move, nice. Missed the banger spin-off games. That's what I want more of! That's what I want more of. And that's why, like, I've said this before, I said this when Snap came out. I bought Snap. I actually haven't played Snap yet. I think I was initially going to try to record it and then, like, saw some streams and went, okay, this really wouldn't work well as a recording. Like, I was like, okay, this looks cool. Okay, this wouldn't really, like, last. so I didn't record. So I bought Snap the day it came out. I haven't played it yet. So like, but I bought it because I'm like, because you know, voting with your wallet means both not buying things that you don't support and buying things you do support, and it's like, I want more games like that. I want a more fleshed out Pokemon library to the point that like, it's not like a significant like thing. It's not this massive, you know, commotion and like this big surprise that Pokemon released a fully fledged spin-off game. I was like, I want to support this, so that's why I like bought it. And, you know, obviously it's, I think I mentioned it's because like I'm well off enough to just do that. Like I can do that. I don't have to be overly critical with buying a single game that I don't know if I'm gonna play. But just because I'm in the situation that's like, I'm going to take advantage of that and be like, hey, Pokemon Company, you will profit off of games like this from me. Didn't buy Snap, probably felt like you were gonna get bored. That's totally fair too. That's totally fair. Like if you're like deciding between like buying game A just because like you like the fact that they're making games like that, or buying game B that you'll actually play, buy game B. If you can buy both, and it's not like something that's gonna hurt you down the line, buy both. You know, that's my situation, so that's what I went with. Maybe just do one Snap stream to see how that does. They don't know about Snap. At this point, Snap's like is relatively old in the gaming space to come back to. It's like 4 months old now. At this point, I'm just gonna keep steady. Just kind of adjusting my stream schedule and getting used to either where I'm at, when I have to go into the office, stuff like that. As that situation evolves over the next couple months, and I'm prepping for BDSP at this point. I'm trying to figure out what exactly my plan is with BDSP, and just all that. So yeah, right now my current plan with BDSP is to get it release night, start streaming it then, try to stream basically that whole day, see how much of the game we can get through, and if like knowledge about version exclusives and stuff comes out, and just the decks as a whole comes out before the game comes out, which I imagine it almost certainly will, I'm going to be trying to plan the best way to complete the decks ahead of time. That's my plan. To try to, because I mentioned on Wednesday, my goal is to complete the decks, get the shiny charm, and hunt as many shinies as possible between BDSP coming out and Legends coming out. Just constant shiny hunting streams in that. I'm extremely excited for BDSP, and I really want to play it and really want to stream it a bunch. Thought about it, almost bought it, but then you realized. But yeah, so I need to play Snap. It looks really pretty. I've seen streams of it, and like, it's not like, this looks like a bad game, never mind, I don't want to play it. It's just like, I don't think I would want to like record footage of this or like stream it. You know, I just kind of want to. It's a game that at this point I kind of have around as like at some point I'm going to end up like on a plane or like on a road trip where I'm not the one driving and play a game, you know? It's pretty, but it's more, I mean, it's Snap. It's not the most enthralling gameplay, right? Like, and that's nothing against the game. That's just the kind of gameplay it is. It's a lot more laid back. But at the same time, it's still an extremely, it's an actual fleshed out spin-off game. It's not a mobile game that they put on the Switch, because that's what all of the Switch spin-off Pokemon games had been up until this point. Were just all the Switch games, Switch spin-off Pokemon games up to this point were straight up just mobile games. Like, they got released as mobile games alongside being Switch games. That's even happening with like, Unite. It's like, it's on Switch and it's coming to mobile. You know, Pokemon Quest was on Switch and then went to mobile. Or other way around, I forget. Cafe is the same way. Go back to the 3DS, I think, Rumble was the same way? I think? Like, they've been like this. They've done this for a while now, where, like, all of their spin-off games have just been mobile Pokemon games. Where it's like, sure, that's successful to a point, but like, people want a Ranger, people want a Mystery Dungeon, people want a Snap. And if they release those, if they get like we were talking about, give Game Freak more time to do stuff. If you release more games that like people classify as actual console games, you will gain yourself time, you know? You see they're releasing Skyrim again? I was more surprised that it hadn't already been announced before that. Because, like, what else is going to be different about it? Like, almost all the systems are fully backwards compatible with a lot of those games anyways. I was like, oh, are you not already just loading the PS4 games on there? Like, you haven't updated the engine, so it can't really look that much better. Yeah, so I did see that. Pokemon Let's Go will not let you run. It keeps rapidly switching between running and walking as if it's drift. Doesn't even have drift, though. It might still be a dirty Joy-Con, like, internals that aren't letting your Joy-Con go fully to like, the extent of the range. Because I have that on my Joy-Cons, they do that. This has been okay, but on my actual Joy-Cons, yeah, I think, like, if I try to run upwards, it keeps, like, getting caught in and out of that unless I really push the Joy-Con forward, which I think is basically just drift. It's the same problem as drift. It's just instead of not letting the Joy-Con come all the way back to 0, it's not letting it go all the way to the end of its range. Switch to Pokeball so you're good. Yeah. Apparently it's getting upgraded again. I mean, realistically at this point, they're just like taking the mods that are out there and they're just adding them into the game. Like, they haven't updated the engine or anything like that, so. Bethesda really needs to get off that engine. It's so old. Yeah, they do, but they also need to, like, have games come out there for new engines. So that's the thing, right? Like, there hasn't been a new Elder Scrolls game for that engine to be, like, taken off of. Right? Like, it'd be one thing if they announced Elder Scrolls 6 was on the same engine. It's another thing when it's like, they're not gonna... If they rebuilt Skyrim on a newer engine, they may as well make Elder Scrolls 6. It's just straight up porting Skyrim onto these other platforms. You know? On their new engine, yeah. Same engine, different paint job at this point. Yeah, but odds are, I don't even think development on Elder Scrolls 6 has really started. They're still working on Starfield. So we'll see. It's gonna be a while. The only thing we got for Elder Scrolls 6 was literally them saying, it's happening, don't be too upset about our Fallout 76 announcement. That's all that happened. That's all that we know about the game, is them going, we know we had a terrible E3 presentation this year. We're gonna make this at some point, we promise. And then now a new console has come out, and they have pushed Elder Scrolls 5 again. Starfield looks great. We'll see if it's buggy or not. It's Bethesda. It's gonna have bugs. We got a short teaser. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We literally got that one thing where they're like, hey, we're gonna make this game, we promise. Don't be mad about Fallout 76 being horrible. Also, I just realized we're at 33, so we're at a full chain. We can just go wait in our spot now. Yeah, so, yeah, Elder Scrolls 6 has been announced with a teaser, and that's it. And, like, the teaser wasn't even, like, in-engine footage. It was just, here's, like, hilly plains. Title card. Not even a name, just Elder Scrolls 6. It'd be like saying, the next Fallout. My lights just all flickered. Apparently Fallout 76 is getting a big upgrade. Why? Why? Just let it die. Yeah, my lights are all dimming and turning back up. What the heck is going on here? The next Fallout, yeah, the bombs dropped. Where you can create your own worlds, kind of like Minecraft. Oh, and 76. That's almost what they needed from the start. The fact that they're like, just every decision they made in those games was just bad. From a design perspective, they didn't understand what an audience would want at all. This is such a first world thing, but I think my lights are like going in and out because they're updating. The wackest thing, right? But I think my lights just updated. And when their firmware updates, they flip on and off like that. Let's see. If I open the app, does it say they're updating? Yeah, I don't see anything about it, but... lights. I don't know, let's just see if it's something weird with their internet, maybe. Yeah, if I... okay, yeah, so they're all still connected to stuff they change when I hit the change buttons. Cool. Sorry guys, my lights are updating. It's a thing though, right? No, I gotta... yeah, I have like some of the smart lights just because it's really nice for... it's really nice when I'm working from home. It gives me a really nice way of being able to like separate work and not work time. So I'm gonna have to mute myself so I don't screw up anything for you guys if you're not wearing headphones. But you can see on Charmander the reflection on that light, right? So activate work lights. And then I'm done with work. Yeah, so it's a subtle change. The white balance on the camera probably like makes that not super noticeable, but yeah, I can have like two different settings just for like work and not work, so like I can mentally separate the one room that I stay in. And then I also have a button on my computer that changes it for football games. From cool to warm light. Yeah, that's what those scenes are. I have one for when I watch football games that changes them to be orange and blue. And then one thing I had set up last year, I never actually updated my code for it, so it's not like a thing anymore. I'd have to fix my code for it. I had software set up so that when I was watching F1 races, it would update the lights to be the color of the driver in the lead. It'd be nice to not to get up and flip the light switch. I mean, that you can do pretty simply. They make smart outlets and breakers. So that's not too bad. I actually had one, basically like a smart socket. It was effectively just screwed in between like the existing socket and the bulb. So like a normal bulb could just be turned on or off with that. I didn't use it too much because I only had the one in like a room full of lights. But I got like a kit that swapped out all the lights in here. Let's have LED strip lights. Yeah, I mean you can do basically the same thing with that, right? Like mine are just ones that screw into the existing sockets. Yeah, so they're nice because they do that. So like, you know, yeah, so again, like it's hard because the only real like view of a light you see is in the reflection of the Charmander poster back there. And the rest of it, my camera's just auto white balancing out, but yeah, because none of my lights like actually line up anymore. The cars have changed names and colors, but like, for example, like with the F1 stuff, this is just a fun thing for me to do that like mix some stuff on my computer with the lights, but if Ferrari was in the lead, my lights would all turn red. If Mercedes was in the lead, they would all turn like the Mercedes teal. If Racing Point was in the lead back before they became Aston Martin, and when their colors were pink, the lights would turn pink. Renault was in the lead, they turn yellow, stuff like that. So like, I had all that, as well as it's nice because you can just say like dim the lights or something like that, and it like switches them. Is this you, or are you obsessed with alternative history? Like the channel Alternative History Hub, or just like alternative history in general? I always watch like Alternative History Hub's videos. They always were pretty cool. If you had your Google Home plugged in, you could use your voice commands to change voice. That's nice. Yeah, what I have is I have a couple more that aren't RGB in my bedroom. They basically just do like the different like temperatures of white, which is enough for my bedroom because those lights are off like 90% of the time I'm awake. So those don't need to be the fancier ones. So the ones I have in there generally are used in the mornings. I have my alarm set in there so that 15 minutes before the alarm goes off, the lights start turning on. So I'm generally like almost awake when the alarm goes off. So that's always usually really nice. Oh, yeah. Just like in general. Yeah, no, it's always interesting to like think about that kind of stuff and see what would be different. That's why you like Wolfenstein? I need to play some more of Wolfenstein. I bought like all of the newer games from it, except for Youngblood, just because like, yeah, that one seemed to have really bad reviews in general. So I have all those newer Wolfensteins. I need to play some more of them. Yo, Cool Trainer Camillo, how's it going? Welcome. How you doing? Happy Friday. Yeah, so one thing, guys, I was trying to figure this out with the lights, and I think I might just try to figure it out like at the new place once I move. I was trying to get the lights to do something interactive with stream, like have them flash if like we got a new member or like new subs or like raids and stuff like that. That was something I thought about and thought would be really cool, but I never actually got it like set up. So I got to figure out how I would pull that off. Need to lay off your Quake and Unreal Tournament obsession. I was really into all those old Unreal games. I guess Quake wasn't Unreal. Quake was literally the rival to Unreal, but they still have like a relatively new Unreal, right? Like they at least have one that I would consider like updated. Unreal Tournament, one on PC, yeah, like they have a modern one, right? And then I know they also re-released the original one with RTX. It got abandoned, really? Yeah, that sucks. Because like having shooters that are in that style, like there's a charm to them. Because you know those old school multiplayer FPS games obviously had like a charm to them back when they hadn't become super refined. So they were in their own sense super simplistic and super refined already. You know, because you weren't trying to like add in all these extra mechanics just to to add more strategy to the game. It was pure mechanical skill at that point when it was literally just aim and shoot and have certain weapons. Like that was a really interesting, like I feel like the Doom 2016 multiplayer was a pretty good recreation of that. To an extent, like it felt much more like an old school multiplayer game than modern FPS games. Speaking of old FPS games, TF2 is kind of dying. I mean, it's just slowly gonna trickle off over time, right? Like it continues to get like support updates, like nothing, like there's not really any new features or anything, right? Like as far as I'm aware, it's not even really quality of life updates. It's just like fixed exploit, optimize this, optimize that. Like that's I think, and like security patches are like the only things that they really like push for TF2 anymore. I think maybe some more like hats, and that's really all you get. Died way slower than any other FPS game. Yeah, I mean it's still held on. And it still had a pretty good base. It's just over time it'll happen. Because you're hitting a point where because at some point you hit a point where like TF2 isn't the go-to free multiplayer game anymore, because that's what kept it alive, was the fact that like, it's why I downloaded it. It was a free FPS game. It was a free PC FPS game. That's great to have. Now there's multiple of those. Now there's other games that are in that genre in general. Like, people are going to look at TF2 and see older Overwatch, right? Like, I know that's not truly the case, but someone getting into the games for the first time is going to see them be fairly similar and see they're both hero shooters. And they're just going to make their decision based off that. A queue for TF2 takes a long time just to, like, find a valid lobby. Yeah. Unfortunately, once that happens, that's kind of the point where it really starts to dip off. Yeah, that's definitely the point where, like, once there's a noticeable difference in the amount of time you can play, like in the amount of time it takes to play, that's where you'll see an appreciable acceleration in the die-off, unfortunately, because once it starts taking longer, fewer people will actually want to even consider playing, and then it'll take even longer, and you just continuously hit the point that people will, like, that different people will tolerate, and they drop off. But I remember before, yeah, you could still, like, I remember when I would play, like, you know, 6 or 7 years ago now, which is kind of that's kind of the sign, right? Like, it was like 7 years ago or something like that I would boot up TF2. I think Valorant did pull a lot of people over. Yeah, Valorant is probably what did it, because Valorant's free to play, right? So that's the reason why Overwatch didn't take over from TF2, is because there was still a very dedicated fan base. But if you have a game that's free to play and people are willing to try, you're gonna get more people to pull away, and then that game has more of a player base. Unreal Tournament 3 is so old, and yet multiplayer is still supported thanks to Valve updating it to use Steam servers. Yeah, Valve and like Steam stuff's actually been really good at keeping older games up. Did pulled. Yeah, so having a game like Valorant was definitely what was going to be the downfall of TF2. You'll still have dedicated people and dedicated servers, but general matchmaking is going to be a lot harder. Surprised people still play it? Man, some games have some really hardcore fans. Some games have, like, really hardcore fans. I mean, look at, like, Trackmania. People still play, like, the 2008 Trackmania. Like, despite, like, there being new ones out. Like, there's certain things that, like, if you're that dedicated into a game, you'll go back to it. We all go back to Pokemon. We all go back to Gen 1 and 2 and 3. And, like, people want to be like, why would you go back to a Game Boy game for that? Because it's fun. Valorant's free to play, but a weapon skin's like 10 to 45, which is kind of yikes. Yeah, that's a lot. But the game itself is free to play. That's all it's going to take, because you can buy stuff for TF2 as well. Quake got a release with updated textures and stuff for PC and Xbox, like, today? Really? Wonder what that'll do for it. People love Quake, so it'll probably do well. Some games are just classics. I mean, TF2 is the same way. I think TF2 will definitely see a noticeable change from how it was in the early 2010s in terms of its, like, player base, but I imagine you will find communities that still have servers set up that are less so, like, matchmaking-based servers and more so just join this server kind of servers. There are people selling skins on TF2 for, like, 20k, which is overpriced when you can find better for cheaper. Some people want the rare stuff, man. Some people just really want that rare stuff. Yeah, I don't really get that whole side of things. Like, collectibles that are specifically, like, collectibles inside a game are always weird to me. I know, like, some people can make a bunch of money buying the right skins and stuff at the right time and flipping them on the marketplace, but I don't know, it's weird. It's weird to me. I've bought, like, a couple, like, cosmetic packs in games, but it's been like $5 for multiple items. It's like, okay, that's fine. But like one thing for loads of money because it's rare is a whole different thing. You know, id Software made Quake, yeah. Does New Doom have the old Unreal Tournament and Quake feel? Like 2016 Doom, I feel like to an extent had a little bit of it. I would equate it to Halo, but a little bit faster pace. Given the game modes that were in, Doom being different, the feel of the controller feel was mix old school with like Halo. So basically, faster Halo was really the feel that I got from Doom 2016. Doom Eternal doesn't actually have proper multiplayer unless they've changed that, which sucks. It has a multiplayer mode that is garbage. Like, I tried it once, went, what is this? And stopped. And they're like, oh, like, I forget what their reasoning was behind it, of like, oh, we prefer, like, this style of thing. It's like, why? You did it wrong. Like, people loved, like, sure, you didn't have, your FPS game's multiplayer mode didn't turn into the next Call of Duty, but it wasn't going to. No one bought Doom, and no one bought Doom 2016 for the multiplayer. Multiplayer just happened to be a fun addition to it. Whereas the multiplayer in Doom Eternal was just like the reason why I stopped caring about getting all the Steam achievements, because you would have to play that, and I was like, I'm not playing that. Halo copied old school, but in your opinion, at a slower pace. I mean, Halo really just took the concept of you were a heavy super soldier with like a super powerful suit and ran with that for all of its feel. And at the same time, also, Halo is a fairly old school. Remember, we gotta remember that Halo's multiplayer has been around since Combat Evolved. Like it took cues and updated itself as like multiplayer and games kind of refined themselves. But Halo, as a franchise, Halo is a pretty old school multiplayer game. Basically, because any multiplayer game that came out before COD 4, any multiplayer FPS game that came out before COD 4 were all very bare bones and had that old school feel to it. COD 4 is what defined the modern FPS and continues to define it today. Everything is based off that and has just added to it since then. Mostly added more movement abilities and actual just abilities, but the core basis of the gameplay really like built its foundation in COD 4. So anything that has roots before that is going to have somewhat of a traditional feel to it. You angled the Pokeball to the left and then it threw to the right. So like you held it like this, turned the Pokeball to the left and threw it. Yeah, because as far as the controller is concerned, you didn't tilt it. You just threw it to the right. So if anything, you need to tilt it to the left. Or, like, to the right to throw it left. If you're still going to throw straight forward. I think. Like, threw it skewed to the left. Ah, weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's not the most accurate, unfortunately. We've seen today the number of times I've thrown it, and it's I guess I've been right on the line between good throw and too soft of a throw. Got lucky enough to play the Infinite beta test. It's actually good. I heard good things. It still looked a little bit weird to me. I don't like the fact that apparently in like team game modes, you no longer are like your armor no longer changes to red or blue. It's just an outline around your armor, and like your customized armor stays underneath. I don't like that. Thought it was gonna go left, but it didn't. Rip. Yeah. Again, the throwing's a little bit funky. It all depends on how you're holding it when you set it up. Yeah, I don't know. With the Infinite beta, I don't know. In general, like Infinite's multiplayer looks a little bit weird to me. I don't think it's gonna be like my big multiplayer game anytime soon. Doom 2016 is $5 right now. I would get that, yeah. That's a fantastic deal. That's a fantastic deal for the campaign of it. Played it but never bought it. Oh yeah, through like Game Pass, yeah. Sony needs to take notes from Microsoft and add backwards compatibility. Does the PS5 not have it to a point? I thought it did. I know it's not nearly as, like, I know Xbox was really thorough with backwards compatibility this time, like, down to original Xbox, but just PS4 games? Okay, yeah, but it does have the backwards compatibility to PS4 at least. That's what I was kind of wondering. That was what I was wondering, because the PS4 didn't have any backwards compatibility, right? Like, it just didn't have it straight up. Or did the PS4 didn't have any PS3 backwards compatibility, right? Or did it? Because, in general, I would not be surprised if PS3 just wasn't backwards compatible. That they really shot themselves in the foot by making the PS3 so weird. Yeah. I had PS Now. Yeah, so those are PS3 games ported then. Those weren't like actual PS3 games. The problem for Sony in that case is straight up, unless you put an entire PS3 inside your other system, you can't have backwards compatibility for PS3 games. The architecture they use for the PS3 is so alien to how every other game system does it. They would have to build an emulator, which people still are struggling to build for like decent computers, into your PS4 or PS5. Just a bad Game Pass. Yeah, that's basically the only way to get PS3 games to play on a PS4 or a PS5 would be by porting them. The discs themselves and the files, just the machine code underneath is so different from what you would need on a PS4 or PS5. It's also not great, yeah. Yeah, I feel like a lot of things... Yeah, cloud-based, yeah. Yeah, so you're streaming the game over... Yeah. That's still got a good ways to go. I think the technology is there for... Obviously, the technology is there for streaming games. It's been a thing for a while in various forms and various levels of success. The biggest holdback right now is just internet in general. I don't think enough people have good enough internet to stream a game. Like to send the inputs and then get the game feed back fast enough and at a high enough frame rate and resolution. I don't think enough people around the world have that kind of internet speed yet. Because like those things are out there. I know Xbox has it. I know Nvidia has it to a point. Obviously Google Stadia exists. So like it exists, it's out there, it's not great yet. It's very early in that tech. Bethesda's got a big sale going on. That would explain Doom being so cheap. QuakeCon? Ah, okay. That's why I imagine a lot of their id games, a lot of the id games are on sale. Don't know why they stopped PS1 games though. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't like do that, because you know, Nintendo has like all the NES and SNES stuff. That's part of their online subscription. Xbox has done a really good job this time around with their full backwards, not like full, like 100% of games, but like their backwards compatibility going for certain games all the way back to the original Xbox. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why they wouldn't do PS1 games that way. That'd be really simple, I would think. PS Now has PS2 and PS3. Yeah, why not add PS1 then? Unless they're trying to sell that, like, PlayStation Classic system or whatever it was, the little tiny plug-and-play one. Which, they would make more money just having you get them on their, like, PS Now, but... Xbox figured that out first. It'll take Sony a bit. They'll catch up. I don't think they're going to be behind forever on that, but they were definitely not the first ones to the punch on this. Classic was so bad, right? Like, yeah, like from everything I saw with that, it's like they saw like the NES Classic, and then they just like didn't get the spirit of it, and they just like apparently it was like really bad, right? Like just in terms of even performance, it wasn't good, right? One weird's backwards compatibility game on Xbox is Arkham Origins, which you can't get digitally for some reason. Somebody was trying to copy Nintendo and it didn't work. Yeah. They used PAL versions and the lineup was Oh yeah, because that's the whole point of having it, right? Like, that's the whole point, is the games on it. So yeah, if you can't put like your solid lineup of games on there, it's not gonna do well. I think that's where Nintendo had the advantage there, though, is nearly every like super classic and like game that people are gonna want to play on one of those old systems is a Nintendo game, so they just immediately have the rights to put it on a system, where for Sony they might not have published some of the games that people actually wanted. You have the SNES Classic and it's great. Old PAL games run at a slower speed. Oh yeah, they do! They do, because everything still happened like at the same speed per frame, but yeah, they ran at 50 FPS instead of 60. Oh yeah, that's... And I guess if you're like in Europe, then that wouldn't be too big of a deal, but I can imagine being over here and being like, why is this running slower? Like being over in an NTSC region and being like, what's going on here? SNES Classic had an unreleased Star Fox game? Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, because I know like PAL versus NTSC is a thing with a lot of those older systems when it comes to speed runs and stuff. Just because like the timer is, you're literally just playing the game in slow motion. Love the SNES Classic. I never actually got a chance to try any of them out. But yeah, they definitely looked like cool little things. It's not something I would use enough to have justified buying it in the first place, but I do remember them being like pretty interesting. Bum there was never an N64 one. Yeah. I think at that point it does become a little bit more difficult to make to a point. Not that much more difficult. That system's still extremely simple in comparison to modern computers. But I could see it being a little bit different when it came to that versus like the SNES and NES being already ridiculously easy to emulate on stuff. Is a Mario RPG unlike SNES Online? I just want them to add Game Boy games to Virtual Console, or GBA games to Virtual Console specifically. I want to hunt for the shiny, but you think you're burnt out on shiny hunts, so you have no idea what to do. Because you've done a lot of the competitive stuff, so that's not really like something you could swap to. I don't know. I mean, is there another game? Because yeah, definitely don't like force yourself to shiny hunt if you don't want to. Don't burn yourself out more. Wish Square would let up on it. An RPG. Come on, Crab. We need the shiny. Square won't let Nintendo have the rights, even though it's Nintendo characters. That's how contracts go. It's like, we're letting you use these characters. You have the right to use them for this. This is your game. Missing Earthbound 2. Dang. These Nidorants are always a tough one here. If I miss a shiny with them, I'm not too disappointed. I have all of the Nidorants that I need, but yeah, just in general, because they do just swap their color schemes, their shinies are a little bit more difficult to tell apart. I need to play some more of the SNES and NES Classic stuff. Like, I have that subscription as part of like a family plan with some friends, but I haven't like really used it for anything outside of like Pokemon Online stuff. That's my main use for it. Picture a simple Geomancy team, so you think you're gonna try something real quick? Nice! Hope it works. I've been playing Mario Picross on the online app. Nice! Switch online games, some bangers, but most are just trash. I mean, realistically, that's kind of how a lot of the lineup was back then, just in general. And really even kind of now with games. You're nostalgic for a few because they were the really good ones, but insert generic, like, licensed game is, you know, there's tons of those everywhere, and a lot of that's what's on that library online. And also just in general, going back that many generations of games, you're gonna notice that like a lot of them were a bit clunkier while developers were still trying to figure out how to design controls. Recent ones, have they not been adding a lot of good stuff recently? Oh, you got one of the wireless ones? I thought about getting some of the NES ones at one point. I was like, oh, when I had the money to, and then I had the money to, and then I just never did. Baton Pass into Alakazam with Life Orb, and Magic Guard, so it gets a 1.5 damage boost without taking damage from hazards, status, or the Life Orb. Nice! It's like going to Blockbuster and all the good games have been rented already. Oof. I remember the times going into Blockbuster and like being like, I'm gonna get a game, and then not knowing any of the games that were up there, and just renting one at random, it being terrible. Because most of the time, if I didn't know what to get, I'd be like, I've seen a trailer for this movie, let's rent this video game from that. And of course, like, most licensed stuff from the early 2000s was not the best. Barely old enough to remember Blockbuster. I remember going into our Blockbuster like when it was closing down. I tried buying the cardboard cutout stand for Black Ops. And they're like, no, someone else already tried to buy that. It was like, already has their offer in on it. It's like, aw, dang. That would have been cool to have. Yeah, they really dropped the ball. Blockbuster did. They let you buy one of their Blockbuster signs. And they were literally selling everything that was in the stores. You could buy the shelves. Netflix crushed them. Oh yeah, Netflix absolutely crushed them. But when Netflix hadn't crushed them yet, Blockbuster was probably the best setup of them. Like Netflix, like at the time, you know, Netflix took them down while they were still like sending out DVDs. You know, like if Blockbuster had pivoted to that more, I think they would have done really well. I mean, Blockbuster already had the deals with the companies. They could have easily switched to adding some level of streaming. You know, like Blockbuster had every chance. Blockbuster continuously, I think, made similar mistakes to a company like Yahoo, where it's just like they keep just missing the mark on stuff. Might have done a big dumb. Kind of use Spore on one after you gave it Magic Bounce. Oof. Yeah, that's a goof right there, gamers. If only Blockbuster had succeeded in streaming service, stuff they would have been fine. They attempted it, but Netflix is from. They attempted it too late is the problem. Because what happened is just in general they underestimated Netflix on all accounts, including like just the mail, like the shipping discs and stuff. Because the thing is, Blockbuster. Having a bunch of brick and mortar stores, I think Blockbuster is probably in almost in a better like place to become like the company that like sends you like DVDs and stuff, right? Like if you think about it, I think very very easily, I think Blockbuster could have been set up so much better to just like have their inventory in their stores be available to like ship. Right? Like even if you just went online and like you had the option to either send me this disc when it's available next in queue, or like, hey, it's in stock, do you want us to ship it to you, or do you want to just come in and pick it up? Like if you could reserve like a movie before you like went it, just online in general. If Blockbuster had adopted the internet, they would have beat Netflix. It's like it was right at a time where it's kind of like, the internet's not going to be a big enough part of this whole equation. It's like, no, it's the biggest part. Your brick and mortar presence just would give you a leg up if you also did internet. Still find it fascinating that Blockbuster still exists? It doesn't really exist. Like one or two exist in various places as tourist attractions. They aren't owned by the same company. The Blockbuster's a company filed for bankruptcy. Just some people own old Blockbusters, and because there is no longer a company Blockbuster, they're not like going to be sued for using the name Blockbuster in the logos. It's just private independent people own them at this point. Merchandise and stuff. Yeah. But again, it's like they exist as a tourist attraction. They don't exist because they're a successful Blockbuster. Their business model is is effectively your statement here. I can't believe there's still some Blockbusters around. It's like we're the last Blockbuster is basically what it is, and it's just someone who bought the store or someone who franchised it and already owned the building. That's went, all right, well, there are no more of you. I'm just gonna keep all the stuff that like every other store's liquidating. That's all it is. And it's like, hey, you filed for bankruptcy. Can we have like the trademark and the copyright? And it's like, as a corporation, they're like, sure, we don't need it. That's what that is. They're not really Blockbusters. Let's make this a nostalgia trip. That's basically what it is. It's like cashing on the nostalgia that's going to exist now. It makes sense. It's a smart move. That single blockbuster is profitable. They've been gone a while now. Yeah, it's kind of, it's a thing where it's not like, it's not a blockbuster in the sense of what Blockbuster was in the 90s and the early 2000s. It's, the store still stands, and someone owns it with all the signs. Someone owns it and owns the signs, and will sell you shirts with the logo on it. This swept a very confused player that didn't know what eject button was. And you're about to when they said stop. Yeah, so it just exists as like a it's basically a museum. Remember Movie Town? I don't think we ever really had a Movie Town. Did a Movie Town at a Blockbuster, which is weird. I mean, having competition generally isn't like terrible. Depending on the size of the town and the size of the stores, it just meets the capacity without like one store having it all. Xander, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Any luck on the crab yet? Not yet. Not yet. We actually had to rebuild our chain. Unfortunately, something happened between the stream Wednesday and today, and like the cartridge got dislodged in my system. Which is weird. I just straight up haven't touched the Switch at all. It hasn't left the dock since, like, last stream. But, yeah, something happened, and the cartridge got listed as, like, disconnected, so we had to build our chain back up. But we got a chain of 33, and now we're just waiting. Waiting and hoping. Game Exchange is amazing. Is that one of those, like, one of the online stores for that? It's the only one of those that comes to mind is like GameFly. Fresh chain not be the worst thing though. Yeah, it just kind of reset it. Yeah, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, we built it up in about half an hour, and now we've just been waiting, waiting and waiting and waiting. So yeah, hopefully it shines today. Game Exchange is like Blockbuster for video games. Does it still exist? And is it brick and mortar? Because I don't know how that works. So I guess the thing there is like Netflix hasn't yet. They've announced they're going to, but Netflix hasn't entered the space of renting games yet. That's strange. Unless it's like solely retro games, that's gotta just suck for the user now. Like nothing that Game Exchange can do, but since most like discs now are just like a download key and then like a key to play the game, like that just kind of financially it makes sense. But like if you rent a game for like 48 hours and you spend 5 of those hours downloading the game, that kind of sucks. That makes a classic, and that's good at least. At least you can get some older stuff with it maybe. But yeah, like any of those new games, like oh boy, I can play this tomorrow. Hey, Juan, how's it going? Welcome to the stream, man. Happy Friday. They're still there, so they're making money. That's true. That's true. I mean, like I said, like, that's not necessarily a detriment to the store. That's a detriment towards, like, the player in general of the modern reality of games. So you found a lot of older Pokemon games since Game Exchange? Oh, that's cool. There's a few like just like old toy stores and stuff around here I'll go to try to find stuff. I haven't found any like really enticing Pokemon game deals, you know. Unfortunately for like the quality of games I'm looking for, those usually aren't at those stores, or they're marked up to the price of like a condition level, like grade A condition, despite being like grade C, just because they're like, oh well, they can be worth this much. We'll charge this much. But like it's hit or miss, right? Like you can get consistently high prices, but like the higher end of what's like actually expected for a certain item of like a certain condition, but like not unreasonable at like an actual used game store, or like at a just like from vendors at conventions that know what they're talking about and stuff. Or you can go to like a used toy store or just a used store in general, and find something and either find a fantastic deal because someone doesn't know what they have, or like they know to a point what they have, and because of that they're very firm on a price that's a bit more unreasonable than they know. So it's hit or miss, but it's always worth checking multiple stuff out. Go to a mom's yard sale who's probably selling their kids' old Pokemon games. True. Hopefully you can find them with the box. That's the biggest thing. Is a lot of times, unless you find that person who knows what collectors want when it comes to a certain series, it won't have the box. It'll be missing stuff. It'll just be the cartridge, which is fine for playing it, but admittedly, as someone who wants to put some of these on a shelf, I want the box. So for me, generally, I find stuff safely when like a vendor is solely about selling like retro games, and they have all the boxes and they have all the manuals and they have all the stuff. They've replaced the batteries. You know, everything's like properly done with them. Platinum was in the box. Nice. Yeah, because like there's a second in Charles up the road from me that I didn't know about until I had to look it up, because Mel was like, oh, is there one around you? It's like, I don't think so. I think there's like only one in like states on either side of me. But like either sides of my state I can go to one, or maybe like up and down, but don't think there's one here. And I found out there's one like a few miles up the road, which was nice. We went there, and it is the situation where like it was a situation where it's like a lot of their stuff was overpriced because it was priced like the stuff was in good condition, and other stuff they just didn't really know about, or they didn't know exactly where the price should be. For me, that example was they had a Wii. They were selling a Wii for about $90. That's about the price of a Wii if you go on eBay, right? Like to get like the power cables and like to get a Wii that you can plug into the wall and plug into the TV and it works. It's about $90. It's a little bit pricey just in general. Kind of sucks when you're trying to find multiple of them, but that's just what it is. The Wii they had at Second and Charles was just the console, missing the flap for the Game Boy ports. Like, that's not worth $90. That's not quite worth $90 because it was like more money for the power adapters and stuff too. So you get in that situation where it's like they kind of don't know that, or you end up in the situation where they have a Wavebird controller with the Wavebird adapter, and they're selling it for just a little bit more than a normal GameCube controller. Like, they know it's a wireless official wireless GameCube controller. It's probably worth a little bit more, but they sell it for so much less. They sold it for like the price of the receiver, basically. I was like, yes, I will take that. Nebby was in the bag. Finally listened. Live in a small town, so yard sales are very common. I need to check some out. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's hit or miss. Like, you don't even know if you'll find anything you actually want, but there's a chance you find this stuff. Always wanted to go to one, haven't been to one since you were a kid. Yeah, the only ones I ever really went to were like when our neighborhood was doing one, so we also kind of like had some stuff just set out in the yard. And so just like walking up and down. There was never like anything. There was never like seeing a yard sale sign like while driving down the road and like turning in and going there or anything. Wish you had more retro stores nearby. I'm aware of one store that's actually more so retro. Second and Charles is just a general secondhand store and has a lot of like Has a lot of like books and stuff like that, and just has like a video game section ranging from anywhere all the way down to like Atari stuff, all the way up to like Xbox One games. It's a very small selection of each. It's not really like a retro game store. It's just used stuff store. Then there's an actual like father and son like used toy store, just old toy store that happens to carry video game stuff. I don't know of any like. I know there's definitely a like retro game store somewhere. Obviously, like I live in a big enough city that there just is one. I know there's one. Just from like common sense, there's one somewhere, even if you don't know what it is. My boss mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago mentioned one. I was like, oh, you should go over there. I was like, I should. And I forgot the name of it. I have to ask him again in our next meeting. Like, oh yeah, by the way, you mentioned like a used game store. Where's that again? Never got out early enough to your town's annual yard sale, but you're going to next year to see if you can find any Pokemon games? Absolutely. You adjusted the sweep. No longer uses Geomancy, but a Mega Alakazam that gains Simple because of the ability trace. And uses Calm Mind or something else. Some other setup moves. Nice. Game Exchange is the only retro game store you have. There's a comic book store here too. Yeah. In general, like I said, I've kind of found that like I've found the best deals at just like general retro pop culture stores, not like video game stores. Granted, like I said, I've also found some of the worst deals at those. You know, they're not always like spot on with like nailing the prices, which can be good for you or bad for you. Fortunately, it's not like you're locked into buying something, so you just go, that's bad, goodbye. And if that happens enough, they'll reprice it. Love secondhand shops. Yeah, I mean it's great. You can find some pretty cool stuff there. My dad found the toy one because he collects a lot of older toys, and he sent me pictures of it. And that was when he sent me a picture. And in the picture, he was like, "Oh yeah, see here's some like retro Nintendo games," because it was like a little carousel of N64. So I was like, "Oh, that's cool." In the background was a saran wrapped GameCube with Game Boy Player attachment, and that is when I bought that and started the Jirachi hunt. Like I was like, "Oh, I'm going there tomorrow." I am going there and buying that. You're doing the sweep wrong, oh no! It's just a freestyle, man. Got adaptability on your Subat because of the skill swap, so it got very strong. Nice. Game Exchange says a wrapped up N64 with controller. It's a Pokemon edition for only $50-$60 and you've been meaning to swipe it? Yeah, that's not bad. Assuming it works. Alright, let's try it. Just resetting the route. Yeah, I need to start looking for more game stuff, but I've been very focused on looking for apartment things and just general housing things. Because yeah, I need to, once I figure out exactly where I'm moving, I can figure out how much I can actually expand my desk, and from there I can figure out my plan for all my GameCubes at some point. Because yeah, I mentioned right now my GameCubes are very awkwardly placed on the desk, and I want to get the space that they're taking up back, and I need to add more GameCubes anyway. Ask the employees if it works, and according to them it does, and they're very trustworthy. I mean, if they sell it to you under the promise that it works, then yeah, you can go, what the heck, this thing doesn't work. And generally, if GameStop does it, I assume any reputable, like, secondhand store will do it, where it's like, hey, can we, like, power it on and make sure? You know, like that kind of thing, where it's like, hey, can we confirm that this works before I leave the store? So that it saves us both the headache of if it breaks later, I'm screwed, you know? It's like, it saves us both the headache, mine of it potentially being broken when I bought it, and yours the potential of me breaking it after leaving the store and then saying that it wasn't working before I bought it. Because that's what I've done with, that's what I did with all my Ranger games, as much as I was kind of being a little bit deceitful and just using it to see if they had a Manaphy egg. It genuinely is a thing where, like, you can go into GameStop with your 3DS and be like, hey, can I just, like, test this game real quick? And see if I can get it working. Because, you know, the contacts oxidize over time and stuff like that. So that's what I would always do with the 3DS stuff. Is like, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure it, like, turns on and works. And my test to see if it worked was just going in and checking if the Manaphy event had been, like, opened. Got the setup and they got outsped by SwiftSim. Oof. Next paycheck, it's yours. Nice. Yeah. Sadly, as much as this is sadly, my next paycheck is going, like, fully to like bills, because I'll have 2 rent payments. I'll have 2 rent payments between, like, my next paycheck and the one after that. So, yeah. Final month here. And first month at another place is gonna be hard on the wallet, but ideally after that everything will be cheaper, because I'll be in a much cheaper area to live. Alright, we're gonna hang out here again for a little bit. Luckily, you already paid your rent and electric and stuff, so you can use the next paycheck to add savings and get N64. Yeah! That's generally the way I would do it at my old job. Was basically one paycheck was all my bills, and then the next paycheck was, like, my money to spend on stuff and savings. But obviously, just over time, rent went up just every year whenever you renew a lease, like, it goes up. Just because it does. And just also I had, like, a car payment suddenly, so it changed a little bit, and a little bit of my second paycheck each month would be that. But now I only get paid once a month, so so all of my bills immediately come out of it on the first, and after that I just have whatever I have. People see your team and forfeit. They're just like, he's setting something up. I'm not doing this. I'm leaving. Makes sense because it's hard to find a place to live around here. Oh, are you implying that's a lot? I wish I could find that. Yeah. It's good for where you're at, though. At least it's not California. Yeah, no, California's insane. It's just in general, like, cost of living changes, and, like, paychecks change because of it, so, like... So, like, the insanity that is, like, the price of California rent is, like, at least counterbalanced, for the most part, by salaries for the same positions over there being higher. But yeah, no, like... It's still pretty high where I am as well, unfortunately. It's just the general housing market's messed up and everything. And it's terrible from the perspective of someone trying to like buy or rent a place. Keep giving simple to people and then they use a setup move. Imagine living in London. Like I would struggle to pick up on the accent. That's like a legal requirement to live there, right? You don't have that. You almost certainly have one. It's just your accent is the normal one for you. At the very least, to an extent, you have an American accent. You have an American accent, but like you don't have a Southern accent like everyone expects you to have. I mean, I guess it just depends. It's interesting how much like the little aspects of it, the little aspects of an accent get picked up by people who are not from that area. But yeah, I get the idea of like you don't have like a strong one. I understand that. Because I don't think I have like a strong accent either. But I know to an extent it's there, to the point that someone like from a very different part of the country would like notice. They're gonna give you chlorophyll so you're faster in the sun and you keep setting up sun. He really had a plan for that. Or is he gonna set that up and then like swap it so that like invert the speed stats or something? Can't tell what part I live in. Boom. What if I like learned how to speak in a way that you guys couldn't tell and I have like a ridiculous like Boston accent or something? Like normally. He didn't mean to. Rip to him then. It's like I feel like that's something where you'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you helping me? And then you just like flip it. Is it because it's not Trick Room in that situation, right? Like Trick Room swaps something else, right? There is something that like swaps speed, if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't know. Boston accents get on your nerves. Well, screw you, bud. Can't even fake it, so I can't even like act like that would be the real case. Trick Room is speed. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so he's not even like trying to set up Trick Room or something. That sucks for him. That sucks for him then. Why is he doing that? Legit accent, yeah, or accident, yep, sucks for him. Sucks for him. Double special and speed, dang. he set up your sweep for you. Oh, man. I tried to run. I knew that was there. I was just trying to run around it. Gamescom's coming soon. When's that happening? Not expecting anything, but you'll watch it. Honestly, the best way to go into that kind of stuff, right? Like I was talking about again on Wednesday after the Pokemon stuff, and like with just the Nintendo Direct in general, it's like I went into those with no real expectations, or just like the bare minimum expectations, and came out pretty okay. Because you have to go in with like legit bare bones expectations. You can't go in saying like, the things that I want to see are like obvious. They'll definitely talk about them, because that's exactly the opposite. Because like I went into the Nintendo Direct at E3 just like, I don't care about any of the stuff they're announcing. They're not going to talk about Pokemon. They've explicitly stated that they're not going to be talking about new hardware. So the only thing that can happen here is I see games I don't care about, or I am pleasantly surprised. And I was pleasantly surprised. You know, seeing the Metroid announcement, seeing the, like, being reminded about Mario Golf existing, seeing some of the Monster Hunter stuff, like, it all was fun. And, like, I was, like, genuinely enjoyed watching it, because it was just me going in going, I wonder what we'll see. And kind of the same, kind of in my mind at least, the same opinion, the same kind of thing with, the presents on Wednesday, was like, show us the progress that has been made, and like confirm some things. I don't care what you confirm, just confirm some things. I want to be able to like talk about these games with some definite like stuff to talk about, that I'm not constantly saying like, we don't know if it'll be there, we don't know if this will be there, we don't know if that'll be there. It's just like, show us something definite, and they did. So for me, I was very, very happy with that. Hope a game that actually deserves to win Game of the Year this year. That'd be good. Wasn't expecting big things from BDSP or Legends, which is why you were excited afterwards. Yeah, exactly. Like, I was basically what I wanted was like, confirm some of the things in BDSP and show us some more footage. And for Legends, explain the game a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about the game, and also show us footage and see if the visuals have improved. They did both of those. I was happy. Everything else we saw was bonus. So your setup either is super OP or is the reason you lose. I feel like that's kind of the case with a lot of those gimmicky setups. And it makes sense, right? Like, you're just being rewarded for having spent more time setting it up, right? Like basically you're risking giving your opponent more opportunities to shut you down. And either they can shut you down successfully fairly easily early on, or if they fail to do that, fail to recognize what you're doing and fail to stop you, you are then rewarded with a massively OP team that's just gonna wipe. So yeah. For right now, you're more excited for BDSP. Same. I mean, going back to our earlier conversation, I think BDSP is going to be a much more steady, like, foundation to build, to, like, plan content around, to do stuff with, in general, to enjoy. I think there's going to be a lot more of that with BDSP. Partially because I think it's just more predictable and it's more traditional, as well as my general preference towards traditional RPG games as opposed to the open world games. So for me, yeah, I definitely think BDSP is going to be my favorite of the two. I could be pleasantly surprised. Legends could be fantastic. I think it's going to be a good game. I just don't know if it's going to be a great game, and if it's going to be something I stick around with for more time with streaming and content stuff than BDSP. We'll just see though. Been replaying the Arkham games. Such good games. Nice. I never played Night, which is the one you're on right now, and it's great. Nice. Glad you're enjoying it. Man, I was really hoping to find Krabby early, so we could either go for a second Krabby or go for something else. I was kind of hoping today would be like a big day and Let's Go for us, but I don't know why. We just haven't had luck with these shinies on the Krabby hunt here. Like with Psyduck, we were finding at least one shiny a day, or at least a shiny every 2 hours. Was like the rate that we were finding stuff at. Even if it wasn't Psyduck, it was, we found like Pidgeys, and we found Magikarps, and we found Tentacools, and we found Squirtles. And then for Bulbasaur, we found 3 Oddishes or 4 Oddishes in an hour, right? Like we found some crazy stuff that we just haven't really found here. Because we found one shiny in the past like three Let's Go streams. I'm going to try running around the grass and encountering these Krabbies for a little bit. Just try to force the spawns. The only thing I don't want to encounter is I don't want to encounter Chansey, because giving Chansey another spawn is just another chance for it to be a shiny Chansey. So, by making it have to respawn itself, yeah. I'm really just going to run into literally everything that isn't Chansey. Have you tried Route 12 for a change of scenery? That's where you found your Krabby, and it's a slightly higher spawn rate, so you believe? I might go over there. I think it's probably a bit higher level, right? I think that would be the only reason for me to, like, not want to, but I've caught so many Krabbies at this point that shouldn't matter. Yeah, I'll check that spawn rate real quick. Let's go Pokedex. Yeah, so I'm trying to encounter literally everything that's not Krabby. Or not Chansey. Sorry. Krabby, let's go Route 12. Krabby is a 15% chance there, as opposed to, what's this chance here? Okay, it is a higher percent chance there, yeah, so we might do that. Let's see what the details are. Yeah, okay, so Route 12 and 13 it spawns more. It does spawn at a significantly higher level, which would be the only real concern. So yeah, we'll fly over there real quick. It's towards the bottom of this route. I don't remember what level it is. Yeah, so looking at Cerebi, both Route 12 and Route 13 have spawn rates of 15% as opposed to 10%. Instead of being from level 18 to 23, it's 31 to 36 or 33 to 38, depending on which route we go to. So yeah, we can try flying over there. We can see what's there. I think there also might not be Chanseys, which would be fantastic. Oh no, there are Chanseys. Rip. Yeah, so that was also the wrong place. Yeah, let's see, where is Route 12? Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and fly down to Lavender Town and then walk south from there. We'll try that, yeah. Change of scenery could be good. Watch us find it immediately. Yeah. A change of scenery, a change in music, all that stuff will be good, I think. Let's just go ahead and use another lure. I think we're almost to the grass. It spawns in a little patch of grass off to the left, if you remember correctly. Cool, cool. Yeah, just as long as there's a patch of grass somewhere, it'll be able to spawn in it. I don't think Kanto had any, like, patch-specific spawns on routes. Yeah. And if we go too far, we just end up on Route 13, and it's the same deal. What's your favorite Kanto track, this route music? We went the wrong way. We did not go the right way. Yeah, further south, yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go back through and then I'm gonna fly. I'm just gonna fly down, because I think that's really my only way to go, right? But yeah. Yeah. Changing the music up a little bit's nice. Could we go farther south? Oh, we could. Okay. So that was on me. Yeah. Yeah, going further south because both bottom of Route 12 here and Route 13 will have spawns. they'll be a little bit different in terms of their like level, but not too different. It's a little cramped set above with Charizard once you hit your chain. Makes sense. Yeah, so let's just double check what the circle color is here. Okay, they're still green, so we're okay. I think my biggest thing with flying above it would be... My biggest thing with flying above it, it makes sense to, is if they become water spawns because of that. Because those do take away from the cap, I think. In the green, yoop. Yeah, we get a little bit different spawn variety here. Yeah, so we can fly up and look at the whole patch here. Yeah, this works. This works. It is definitely a small patch, so like not as much can spawn in there. But assuming that everything is spawning in the grass there and we're not getting a lot of water spawns, I think we should be okay. Because I believe we could also fly down here. Oh dang, we can sit right here and watch both patches. I think. It should don't remember any of the water spawns except for maybe a rare Magikarp appearance. Yeah, I think you might have to be flying over the water for those to happen. The most iconically good route themes are obviously in Sinnoh. I think you misspelled Hoenn. Maybe this won't work as well as I was hoping. Yeah, I'm just gonna go sit over this patch again. Okay, so that was Route 13. Yeah. So we can fly back and forth right here if we want. But flying over to the other route stops this patch from spawning, I think. Just one of those weird cases where you can see a patch on both routes at the same time, and like it only loads the route you're on. Some were reused because they were so good they wanted you to hear them a second time. Obviously. It's too bad you can see it but no spawns. Yeah, right? Like, it would be fantastic if both could spawn at the same time, but I very much think it's like a situation where it's just like, you're on the other route, therefore this is like an inactive patch. I am going to grab some more water real quick, now that we have moved. So, pausing the game just to make sure no shinies show up while I'm not looking. And I'll be back in a second. All right. I look like a giant when I get further away from the camera. Number 6 foot. Yep, 6'6". What is nice is that when we flip back and forth like this, it immediately starts recycling spawns. It starts refreshing spawns. So this is probably the most optimal way to continuously swap spawns. So like these ones still have to despawn and then respawn in. But, you know, you look at it for a minute here, let those, whatever remaining old ones are there, Oh yeah, that can spawn here. Dang, that would be very large to have just spawn while we're sitting looking at it. Yeah. The Charizard dropping in on us constantly is a little bit annoying though. Not gonna lie. Watch the new Suicide Squad. Dude, that is a fantastic movie. Yeah, I absolutely recommend watching the new version of that. It's so good. Trying a balanced Hackbond strat with a simple Shuckle using Cosmic Power, Home Claws, Power Trip, and Body Press. Best of luck. Hope that works well for you. Interesting that those two spawn back in. I think those might have been old spawns. Right? You know, it was so good. It was really good. John Cena's character was by far my favorite as far as the comedy went in that movie. I'm really glad they're giving him like his own like series. And yeah, hopefully DC kind of learns from this that if they do go the route of trying to be a bit more comedic, because they did try to be a Deadpool, right? Like that was kind of their goal with the old Suicide Squad, Warner Bros. Goal at least. It wasn't actually the initial goal of the director, but the director just kind of got screwed and his movie was reshuffled and reshot and all this stuff, so it ended up being really confusing and weird and incomplete in many ways. Yeah, if they try from the start to be like that, I think like they need to look at this movie. They need to look at the Harley Quinn series, like animated series on HBO. If they look at those two, I think they need to use those as their model for what they do going forward, largely, and realize that they're focusing on like some more, you know, like kind of their villains with a bit more like hero-ness to them, like that. Like, and comedy is probably really their best bet. I think just in general, them trying to really hone in on a lot of their big superheroes isn't the best. For movies, if they're trying to shoot stuff that's more serious and action-based, Marvel already does so much of that. Sure, Marvel's good at it, and like it is successful, but it's because Marvel is successful with it. It's not like inherently successful. And there's also, it's just saturated at this point. Yo, Shining Mudkip, what's going on? You brought your shiny luck? Well, thank you. We've been lacking it. DC characters are often so funny in the comics. Can't wait to watch the new Suicide Squad. Yes, definitely watch it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. DC's been doing good. They should go comedic at least, and a little bit like Marvel. I mean, I think they really need to lean in as much as it obviously isn't necessarily what like does the best and suits like, you know, shareholders and, you know, producers and not producers but like executives and like box office numbers and stuff. You know, it's always like, oh, if it's more family friendly or more accessible, more people will go and watch it. It's like, okay, but everyone's already going to do that with Marvel and be burned out. Just make more adult focused comedy in that kind of stuff, and you'll do a lot better. You fill a void that isn't really fulfilled by anything other than Deadpool. And Disney shies away from Deadpool a bit just because it's Deadpool. They make it makes money, but it doesn't make as much money as other stuff, and they don't want to get too linked to it. I genuinely think if they just like if DC really went in on being like dark humor and a lot of it like that, I think it would do a lot better. Instead of trying to just like have their comedy be quippy bits like Marvel does, you know. So much of Marvel's comedy is like arrogant character is sassy or is sassed, and it's like, okay, where's a little bit more of the like shocking humor that like we see in, you know, things like Deadpool, or we see in the Harley Quinn show, or we see in this new Suicide Squad. Like, do it that way. Free Guy was such a good movie. I haven't seen it. So that one was good. It looked interesting. Is that a Glock in your pocket? No, it's 2 Glocks in my pocket. A shiny in the chat, indeed. Yeah, so I need to see Free Guy. It looked really good. I like the concept of it. The only funny Marvel bit that jumps out to you from Marvel is the Hulk punching Thor for no reason in the first Avengers. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of that was, you know, they were kind of setting up and building their style. Because, if we're being honest, if you strip away the specifics of the movies, almost all Marvel movies follow a very similar formula and have a very similar feel when it comes to their, like, comedy and their timing and stuff. Because it works for them. It works very well for them. But the problem is, if DC starts copying that, it very clearly looks like a copy. And there's already so much of it with Marvel that you're not going to watch, like, the ripoff, right? Ryan Reynolds movies are just good, except Green Lantern. They even acknowledge that in Deadpool. But again, like, that's... I don't know, DC just really can struggle to find its mark sometimes. Like, find, like, the mark it needs to hit sometimes. Is there anything else in this route? Or is those the only two patches? I don't think there's any other patch that... Yeah, you're going to Route 14 if you keep going that way. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I think, like... If DC tends to, at least with their superhero stuff, they end up being, like... too, like, edgy and serious and stuff, and it's just like, it doesn't fit, right? Like, it doesn't fit in the same way that, like, comedy does for their villains. I don't know exactly what they need to do with their heroes, but really they just need to, like, stick with a lot of their more well-known villain characters, to be honest. Those have been what have been memorable. Free Guy surprised you? Thought it was just going to be cheesy comedy that wouldn't be good, but it was really, really good. I mean, I trust comedies that Ryan Reynolds is in. Comedies, at least. So yeah, I'm not surprised to hear it was good. But yeah, it's good to know that it actually was good. All these Krabby, and none of them are yellow. I need these flying Pokemon to stop spawning, though. Yeah, that is just straight up part of the rating system. Yo! Yes! Yes, guys! Yes! Yes! Come on, come on. Shiny Krabby, shiny Krabby! Please don't be the Pidgeotto. Alright, what do I got in my bag? What do I got in my bag? Only raspberries. My trip to the cave went away. Come on. Come on. Green circle, don't do me wrong. Yes! Shiny hype! Shiny hype. Put on Crabgrave, you're right. You're right. Alright, guys! You actually brought the luck. You did! You did! Let's go. Let's go. Yes. All right, guys. Crab rave time in chat. We gonna do another crab, a different hunt, or a raid? I think we're gonna go for another crab for now. For a little bit. I would like to get both. I would like to just finish this, to be honest. Finish this hunt that I'm working on here. But yeah, let's go to the box for a bit. Alright, change markings. Favorite. Summary. Yes, guys, yes! We got it. We got the crib. He's doing the dance he really is, right? Yes, guys, that's so great. Shiny hype. It's been so long. It's been too long since we found one. I'm glad we found this. Someone go mention on Discord that we found it. Yes. It's got amazing stats too. I mean, it's kind of like pretty guaranteed to be listed as amazing, I think, just because it's a full chain. Guys, shiny hype. Shiny hype. We found it. We found Krabby. We need one more for Kingler. Or a shiny Kingler itself. I don't think I could catch a Kingler right now, though. Shiny hype. Guys, I'm very excited and pleased by that. You did it. Thank you. Thank you, Shiny Mudkip. I appreciate it. We found it. We found it. You're taking credit for this. Go. You brought the shiny luck. We really know you brought the shiny luck. We'll really know you brought the shiny luck if we find another one quickly. You informed the Discord. Sweet. All right, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and save one more time. I really don't wanna lose that. All right, and now we fly again. Because yeah, we are sticking with Krabby. One second while I update stream title. That was clean. What was clean? I kind of called it. Did I? Who knew we needed to be on this round instead of the other one? Right? Immediately. Like 5 minutes after we moved. So thank you, Xander, for that. I appreciate the suggestion. Now Safri said it like that guy's shiny Mewtwo. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no. Be awesome if we found another. I think we have one more spawn down here. Always a change of scenery. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And like the thing is, like it's just great even just mentally for the hunt, right? Like the change of scenery, it feels new. It doesn't feel nearly as monotonous as it was before. One more thing needs to spawn in here. We'll wait for the Krabbies to despawn and something else to spawn in, yeah. If we're gonna get a shiny Mewtwo and Heart Gold Soul Silver and reset over it. No! Rip. Yeah, I really need this, like, Charizard to stop spawning. Because I want to be right where that Charizard is. I totally see it happening though. Like, you just get the muscle memory built up. It's really easy to soft reset over stuff. Stop playing favorites? How are they playing favorites? How are they playing favorites this time, I guess? What if Charizard does a Sparkle? We'll try to catch it. But it's worth noting, I will try to catch it with a Pokeball, and we all know that's gonna fail. Game frick. Game frickin' fricks. Put in one word, Charizard. Okay, so we're still talking about that time, or those times. I was wondering if it was like a specific new thing. Alright, that Kingler needs to despawn and have something else spawn in its place. That Kingler's been here for a bit now. Yeah, okay, so Kingler despawns, something else should spawn in from Kingler. And I'm waiting for Farfetch to despawn and something else to spawn in from it to know that we've went through like a full spawn cycle. So the Chansey was from a Chansey. Krabby, I'm going to say, is from Kingler. We need one more thing can pop up on this route right now. So hopefully something else... Okay, another Farfetch spawn. So many things can spawn right here. It's kind of hectic. Oh, Leak Duck. Yeah, if we get a Farfetch shiny, that'd be awesome. Yeah, if we get a Farfetch, I would love to have a shiny Farfetched. What's up, Dragonite? Quit looking at me. Just making sure we're not. Making sure we're properly intimidated. Only as Premier Balls and Pokeballs for shinies, you dread the legendary bird or Dragonite Charizard spawn. Yeah. Same, man, same. Like, it's like, I'm gonna check it, and if it is, I'm gonna try, but I basically just know I'm gonna fail it, especially if I don't have any kind of golden razzes on me. Which is generally the situation. So yeah. We're in the same boat there. I catch everything in Pokeballs, even to my detriment of failing stuff. Yeah, but this is pushing new spawns pretty quickly, which is nice. We're definitely getting new spawns this way faster than we would normally, and I think it's worth the lures we're using for it, because we're not using that much. You didn't have to move, Dragonite. Did you get Corsola Marini? We haven't. We have not. That will be the next hunt we go back to. I'll admit I've been a little bit lazy, and all my stream assets have been set up for Krabby, and I've just kind of kept going with it the past couple days. And generally, Friday streams have been Let's Go streams, so if I have a desire to do a Let's Go stream, I'll just do it on Fridays, even if like it's a bit repetitive. Because I feel like Let's Go we can kind of get like momentum going a bit more quickly than some other hunts. Obviously today was a little bit like this Krabby hunt was a bit of a struggle. Maybe we'll attempt shiny hunting again in BDSP if there's a good method. I'm guessing hideaways will be some kind of method, either in terms of an actual chain of sorts, like the amount of hideaways that you go through, it gets higher and higher chances of being a shiny, or it'll be a just net like rate increase like Friend Safari was. That's my guess when it comes to hideaways. And I hope Pokeraider comes back. If Pokeraider comes back, it needs to have some version of like the Poketch adapted to a single screen setup. So who knows how well that would work, but there would have to be, if they did that, I would love to have Pokeraider come back. So yeah, I'm very hopeful that BDSP has some good shiny hunting. Like I said, one of my kind of goals with BDSP is going to be shiny hunting as much as I can before Legends comes out. I want to see all of the, I want to try to get as many shinies in BDSP before Legends comes out. I want to see how much of that dex I can complete shiny wise. So we're going to be doing a bunch of hunts in BDSP once that drops. Do you think they'll add the charm in BDSP? I imagine they will. With the amount of stuff that they have added, I would want to say that the shiny charm is counted in the modern improvements that they've talked about. Charizard suffering. Just having to float here. Go back and forth. My guess at this point is the usual 1 in 512. I'd love for Pokeraider to come back. Yeah, so I think we're going to see odds just in general. Odds in general will come down to 1 in 4096 as opposed to 1 in 8192. That's just where odds are for shinies now. I think we will see a charm that'll increase odds more. And then on top of that, getting Pokeradar, that would actually be a bit crazy. Granted, I think it'll just... I don't think it'll actually be too much of an increase at that point. Like, the charm won't be too much of an increase with how much a full, like, Pokeradar chain of 40 would get you to. You know, the odds of 4096 do have stuff, but... Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope Pokeradar comes back, because I want there to be, like, an involved shiny hunting method on top of something a bit more easy, because I think... Generally, the way I do it is if there's a more involved method, I will do that for the Pokemon first, and then if there is just some, like, generic rate-up, like Friend Safari or Masuda, and stuff like that, I do that as a secondary method if there's no other way to get the Pokemon, or no feasible way to get the Pokemon through another method. Just as, like, a personal preference thing on that front. Why is Gender in Unite? I don't know. Imagine Ilka forgets what shinies and Pokerests are in the remakes. Oh, that would... If they just didn't exist at all in those games, my disappointment would be through the roof. Barely see Pokerests anymore? I mean, it's really rare, so it makes sense. And there's not a way to, like, chain Pokerests. I have it in Sword and Shield. It's the first time I ever had it. Don't know if you can wait another 3 months for BDSP. Hey, I'm cool with it. I'm cool. It gives me time to plan. It gives me time to get settled with whatever my new schedule is going to be. So I know exactly how much I can stream and when. And, like, plan my streams well in advance. Because, yeah, I'm basically going to be streaming every waking moment that I have the ability to for those months. Have a few Pokerest mods from your older games. Yeah, I mean, for the thousands of hours I played Sun and Moon, never saw Pokerest. Saw Pokerest in, like, my first 100 hours on Sword. Better not skimp us. How so? Sword and Shield shiny hunting was so garbage. I really didn't like it, yeah. Dynamax Adventures is a fun thing from, like, a community perspective. But yeah. In general, shiny hunting and Sword and Shield's been fairly meh. I mean, notice how, like, outside of static spawns, like, most people don't hunt in it all that much on stream from what I've found. I did, like, the Wooloo hunt a while back, but that was just, like, running into a bunch of Wooloos. At some of the Sword and Shield shiny hunting, you just can't... It doesn't increase the odds all that much, is the thing. And according to some people, it has a little bit... I know Shy kind of, like, found there's some other weird mechanics that get messed with from it, as far as I can tell. I don't know if he was ever able to confirm that, but at least initial evidence kind of seemed to prove that, like, there was some other, like, some of the other odds were getting messed with the chaining. So yeah, just in general, Sword and Shield got really complex with everything they were doing, and it got too complex. And I think it had them confuse a lot of stuff, and it's hard to test that, right? Like, when you're trying to test something with 1 in 4,000 odds, like, that's a lot of testing. Even automated, that's a lot of testing. Even the best odds in Sword and Shield Dynamax Adventure is kind of bad. Yeah, like 1 in 100, but it takes so long for the encounters. But, like, the thing is, I'll say this, I am not at all complaining about the odds being difficult. I want the odds to be difficult. I want shinies to be rare. I want it to be more hype when we find them. I don't want it to be something where, like, it's actually practical for us to find all the shinies in BDSP before Legends comes out. I don't think we'll do that. If we do that, either we got insanely lucky to the point that everyone will think I, like, ROM hacked to lower the odds, or it means that the game was so easy to shiny hunt in that I've done all the content I care to do in that game, like, in 2 months, and that's not what I want out of a Pokemon game. From your understanding, it was a 3% chance of having it 1 in 512 chance odds, which just sounds like they messed it up. Yeah, so I know Puffin has said this, and I'm very inclined to believe it. It makes a lot of sense. They got the odds of a shiny mixed up with the odds, they got the odds of the rate increase happening for the shiny encounter mixed up with the odds for it to be a square sparkle. Because square sparkles are very common when they were not supposed to be. And shiny increases are very rare when after a 500 encounter chain, they should be a little bit more common than a 3% chance to get a 8% or an 8 times improvement for one encounter. Right? Like, that definitely seems like they goofed up. That definitely seems goofed up, and like those numbers got flipped. Like the type of shiny got flipped with just the overall shiny check. At least to me, that makes a lot of sense. That's two if statements in their code that should have been nested A, B, and got nested B, A. So yeah. That's. I think I tend to agree with Puffin's kind of hypothesis there. Just become your egg hatching central. Yeah, like that's the only thing that really seems like to actually consistently have better odds is Masuda, because it's still just default Masuda odds. Even the static encounter hunts, like no one knows what various Pokemon's odds are, because there's so many different sets of conditions for various odds increases. It's just a mess. It's a mess. It's a lot of stuff, and then they added the marked Pokemon with the DLC, and that's a whole other ordeal. It's crazy. It's crazy. It feels like they overcomplicated it for the sake of overcomplicating it, and they face the consequences of it getting overcomplicated because suddenly it was too complicated to keep track of. Sword and Shield's just broken. Was that a shiny Pidgey? Where? If there was one, it's gone. I don't think it was. It was probably just a Pidgey that was like tiny. Their only unique hunt through Curry is so strenuous it's not worth it. Yeah, I've heard about that one. That one just crazy. Game Freak always messes up odds and spawn rates and stuff. All the detail stuff they do, they usually will mess up. I mean, SOS was pretty decent. I think there might have been the one potential technical glitch with SOS I'm okay with, which admittedly is probably just because I learned about shiny hunting really with it, so that's normal for me. But the potential, the thought that in Sun and Moon, and then fixed in USUM, but in Sun and Moon, that the odds roll back over at a chain of 255, like at a chain of 256, it acts like you have a chain of 0. That's very straightforward. It, at least from someone who deals with numbers and code all day, makes sense. It is not a coding glitch. It was a decision they made for the sake of like memory, like of memory usage, and for the most part, no users will encounter that in a usual like play session. Shiny hunters are different because people going for hidden abilities, people going for 4 guaranteed IVs, all of this stuff will stop after a full chain, or like a little bit after that when they get the hidden ability. That's it. Right? As opposed to shiny hunters who are going for potentially thousands of encounters just from being unlucky and the chain rolling over. That one from a technical perspective makes sense and was a decision, not a goof. Whereas a lot of the stuff in Sword and Shield seems like a goof. Yo, Newt, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Does anyone have a shiny Ralts? Not tradable. No. And not like up in Sword and Shield or anything in the first place. Raid Dens? What about Raid Dens? The Pidgey was not shiny? That's good to know. The rarest Pokemon and all Sword and Shield. Oh, the shiny Reggie with the rarest mark. Oh gosh. The greatest bug Game Freak has ever encountered has to be the crash. Yeah, that one was bad. I think we spent like a lot of like Monday or Tuesday talking about that. That was a bad one. I still again say that one should have been caught in like testing. And a shiny of Vulpix, that's adamant. Nice! If you want to play Among Us. Ooh. I haven't played Among Us in forever. I saw they posted some like community announcement on Steam the other day. DS broke so you can't hatch one. Oh no! Oh, raid dens get manipulated? Yeah, they do. I should play Among Us. It's been a while. I don't know. The last time I played was the first day they added Airship, because I think that's when a lot of people are kind of like, okay, cool, new map. Oh, it's way too big. And they also like busted stuff with the profiles and everything. Isn't Among Us ramping up in popularity again? Maybe. I know like Fortnite added an imposter mode or something, and that was like a big controversy. It's on Ultrasun. What is? Oh yeah. Yeah, like they added imposter mode, and like then like Among Us even was like, I mean, yeah, we didn't like we have no right to tell you no, but like, come on, it's just lazy. It's lazy and transparent. Come on. Like I think it's basically what happened. I think that's largely what a lot of people think as well. Like, oh, it's not even like special. Lost your cartridge for Ultrasun. Oh no! Currently hunting a Gulpin. Nice. Best of luck. Fortnite mode is good. They made it unique, which is why I don't get why people are mad. I think because it's not as unique as it needed it, and also like even something as much as calling it imposter mode, it's like most other games like that have like their own specific gimmick to them, and they name everything differently. Whereas like imposter mode is very clearly named with like the Among Us terms, and I don't know if the mechanics are actually all that different, or like how different they are in comparison to other games like that. Because things like Gmod has multiple different modes, I think, that are basically the same kind of thing, right? Like TTT, I think Murder might be another one that's like that. I don't remember a lot of the Gmod modes. It's been a while since I played Gmod, but I know Gmod had several. Like Town of Salem was one of them. Among Us is another, and like they all have unique aspects to how they play the game mode. So I don't know how that necessarily works with the Fortnite one, because I haven't seen much about it. All I've seen is the headlines of they added it, me going, that's kind of weird. And then like people being upset about me going, that's not unexpected. Town of Salem. I played it once. My friend bought it for me, and then like I immediately like just got really unlucky and got immediately like thrown out because I just clearly was like, the first game I ever played, I started as like the person who's supposed to go around killing, and the person I attempted to kill immediately got me caught. Like, just everything went wrong, and in like a normal game that's something you like laugh off for how like hilariously like wrong everything went for you. But for me, it was like that was my first experience. Like, oh, that's like that's stressful. I didn't like that. It was before Among Us, so I wasn't like used to the concept of a game like that where you're trying to like lie and get through all these situations and stuff. It might be fun to go back to it at some point, but that'll be at some point way down the line. Always the gesture's supposed to die. Nice. First ever game was Yoshi's Island on the Game Boy. Nice, nice. I think my first ever game on like a console of any sort, like on a handheld, was Mario Pinball. Before that, I played like Freddy Fish and like Pajama Sam and Putt Putt Saves the Zoo and stuff like that. I played those on PC. Forgot Town of Salem was a thing until you brought it up. Yeah. Are you getting more people? Nice, Shining. Nice. the biggest brain in among us. Did you always win? First game on a proper console was Lego Batman or something. Oh no. Oh no, guys. Guys. Oh, this is scary. This is scary. Oh no. Oh no. Do you think we'll catch it? Do you think we will catch this? Nightmares become real. Because guys, again, before you yell at me, because I know you will, especially now that I'm going to say it, I'm going to try with a Pokeball. I'm going to use a raspberry. I only have regular raspberries. So we don't have all that much to help us with this. But oh goodness. I guess we try! Oh no. Berries, berries, berries. I mean, this is all I got. I got raspberries. Oh, that's bad. That's also bad that he's constantly moving. What? What? Oh. No way! Yo! There's no way I should have caught that. What? All we had was a regular raspberry, it was a regular Pokeball, it was crimson red, and I missed the circle. I should not have caught that. Oh my god. Yo! That's incredible! That is incredible! Oh my god. Save. Save. Taking the credit. You show back up and it happens again. Oh my god, guys! What the heck? I am at a loss for words right now. So we're just gonna fly over here. Fly over here so I'm like... I'm trying to fly to a spot where I can like land if it... Okay, let's just fly right here, yeah. There we go. You can't open the bag if you're above like a spot where you can't land. I can't believe that. That's okay. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care about that. Guys, I can't believe... Someone post this in Discord as well, because I can't believe... I can't believe we found that. That's incredible. Yo! You missed the circle and still caught it, and it was red. In a Pokeball! In a Pokeball! Which I guess, I mean, the Pokeball is what attributes to it being red. I can't, this is insane. This is insane. I genuinely, what? Okay, so, obviously... Eat Safari Ball for killer coordination. Yes! We got the shiny to fly on now, too. I can't believe it. Guys, that's I'm shocked. I am shocked. Genuinely cannot believe that we found this. The lucky catch. That was crazy. Just gonna keep saving. So, like, genuinely, what do we hunt now? Like, our Krabby combo's gone, so that's not like a massive concern anymore. I'm just gonna fly at this point. We're flying around for a bit. Got a new fresh name. This is just... I'm shocked. Do Corsola? I think we're just gonna continue with Let's Go for the day. No, we're not gonna put on another lure yet. This is a little cool off left. What's left on my hunt list? So many things are left on the hunt list here. I hadn't planned this far. It's the plankton thing of I didn't expect to get this far. Genuinely, I was like, I had no idea that I would have found this, or really, like, my plan was like find Krabby, maybe find another, and then like from there potentially do something like Porygon. Because like Porygon's something that we generally do, like if our chain's built up already on something else. I can't believe we found this. That's crazy. Do Corsola and Let's Go, yeah. Because we have so many things. Let's actually just for a minute here clean up the Pokemon box. Get rid of a lot of these that we don't need, so I can resort stuff. Yeah, so let's get rid of all the other Krabbies. I wish there was a better way than... I mean, there's definitely a better way if I used another controller. But I was like, it's like, I wish there was a better way to select all these, because I'm like moving the joystick and like clicking in on the same joystick. I can't believe. Want a high-stress hunt or just another relaxed one now after that? Probably relaxed for the moment. I know there's a few hunts I do need to do that'll be a bit more specialty to set up, which would be kind of fun to do in Let's Go. I have a Snorlax I can still soft reset on. I have fossil hunts to do. In general, I have a bunch of encounter hunts to do. It's got a beat to it, yeah, right. Yeah, it's been a while since I've cleaned this out. All the Clefairies, Clefairies are still here. And back. We're gonna find another shiny now, Shining Mudkip. It's like in the menus. Hunt Lugia and Let's Go. I'll do it. I'll find it. I can't believe we found Dragonite, guys. That's insane. That's genuinely crazy. I'm so... Sandshrews pretty easy? True. Yeah, we can look at what I have. Once I reorganize my box real quick. I'm just trying to get like all these extras out of here before I hit the organize by favorites button. Because otherwise I'm gonna get a bunch of Clefairies in the middle of my regular decks. Closes menu, another shiny, right? We find the shiny Charizard next. Don't even hit it with the Pokeball, still catch it somehow. Could Masuda a Mudkip as tribute? I need to do a Mudkip hunt at some point. I have one shiny Mudkip that's not really even mine, it's my shiny bots. Yeah, don't click that. Yeah, look at all the shinies here that I just haven't organized yet. Yeah, this is the like spring cleaning part of the stream right here. All these favorited ones are shinies we found. If you find Charizard, you gotta call him a Suda. Guys, I am just blown away. I genuinely am so shocked we found that. I'm using this moment to calm down. So apologies for it being a little bit slow at the moment, but man. But man, I just need the second. No, I don't want to unfavorite that Pokemon. There might not be Joy-Con drift on this little controller, but it being a circle means I'm not making the most precise of inputs. Wow, yeah, there's a lot of stuff we didn't organize. It's been a while since I've cleaned this out. Could have a chance to be on his Twitter timeline. He retweets shinies on Twitter. Nice. That's actually kind of nifty. That's kind of cool. Alright, there we go. The number of Psyduck we had sent. 569 Psyduck. That's insane. Alright. Sort with favorites on top. Alright, so these are the shinies we have. So we need another Bulbasaur. I'm not going to do that for now. I need a Charmander. Same kind of hunt. We could do Sandshrew, I think. Or I might have I have a Sandshrew and a Sandslash. So I've got those. I've got all the Nidorans. I would need another Clefairy. But I don't want to do that right now. That was pretty recent. We have more than enough Oddishes. We have more than enough Tentacools. Abra is something we could do, but that would be a little bit stressful. Clean and pristine boxes, indeed. Yeah, so that's all the shinies we have at the moment. So there's still a lot to do. Eventually I'll unfavorite the like duplicates here, just to keep it a bit cleaner. You added them with your Sword and Shield Championship team, and you actually liked it. Nice! Oh man, guys, that's... I don't know, do we do another hunt, or do I just like end it for the day now? We've been going for almost 3 hours. Do we just end on this insane note? Mankey? Do I need another Mankey? Do I not have a Mankey? I thought I did. I don't. I thought I did. Interesting. We can try starting something. Where is Mankey? Okay, we can do Mankey too. That's not a version exclusive. That is a version exclusive that is in Pikachu. 20% on Route 3. Yeah, let's do Mankey. I'm cool with that. Keep going. It's not a terrible high note to end on. True, very true. Like, that's kind of my thought, right? Like, if we ended on, like, the luckiest catch of a Dragonite ever, that wouldn't be bad. I also don't have a thumbnail, so how about this? How about this? I'm gonna get thumbnails and everything set up. I'm gonna make sure I stock up on items, stock up on, you know, money, all that stuff. I'll work on that this weekend. So I probably won't be streaming Let's Go this weekend if I stream at all. and we'll start with Mankey next time, because I'd have to make thumbnails and stuff now, so I think yeah, a perfect high note to end on is a shiny Dragonite catch and planning our next hunt. Go for another shiny. We'll go on the route real quick, Mudkip. We'll go on the route real quick. But yeah, we'll do Mankey next time. If that sounds good to everyone. Yeah, so we'll hunt, I think, in that patch of grass or this one over here. We will hunt for a shiny Mankey next time. So, yeah, no, that's a fantastic way to end the stream. I can't believe we found that. That's crazy. It's crazy that we found that. So I'm checking one thing real quick. Oh, we'll run away from the Spearow. Yeah, so we're gonna do a raid. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do a raid. So thank you to everyone for being in this incredibly hype stream. This is insane. Genuinely crazy that we found this Dragonite and that we caught it. Honestly, I'm more surprised we caught it than that we found it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so glad we got to have this hype moment. I'll be back on probably Monday. Maybe some Twitch streams this weekend. I'm not sure. They'd be at really weird times, just because of other things I have going on. And if I did do those, we'd be going for various other random Pokemon that I've already hunted. So thank you guys again. I can't say thank you enough. I'm so incredibly excited that we found this shiny. But yeah, I'll be back on soon with another hunt. We got Corsola to finish up. We'll probably do Corsola before we do any more Let's Go hunting. When we do come back with Let's Go, it'll be for Mankey. So yeah, hope to see you guys again soon. And until next time, take care.